Hey guys, we got a new face here at Iron Rock. This is Charlie. We convinced Charlie, who is, are you a Jeep guy?
Nope.
Not a Jeep guy. We got Charlie to get his first Jeep. So what do you got here?
I got a 2000 WJ. I feel like I got a good deal. I mean, $800. I was able to drive it here. So I guess let's see what we can get out of it.
Yeah, so what do you want to do with it?
I'm hoping to camp, wheel, and just have a lot of fun.
Okay. Well, what do you guys think Charlie should do with his WJ? Help him spend his money. But before we do anything to it, see if we can get it started first.
Nope, nothing.
Go. So it didn't start. No click, nothing. Must be these brand new battery cables and their screws holding it together. I'm guessing it's probably the culprit. We got a power steering leak. We got valve covers leaking, oil pans leaking, front pinions leaking. We've got mystery coolant kind of in random places, but we have no coolant in the bottle, but fresh oil in it, and it's full. So,
is there even a battery tied on?
No, she's just flapping around in there.
Nice.
WJ life.
$800. It was $800.
Yeah, it's worth it.
Yeah,
I've spent money worse. Try and turn it over.
All right, guys. Well, I got as many features as I can get with this. I got my memory seats. I got 221,000 miles. I went and got power seats. I mean, you can't beat that. I got my Infinity Gold sound system.
Yeah, you can adjust your mirrors.
Oh. Yeah.
Don't touch the sunroof buttons. Don't touch them.
I was tempted on the way in. I was.
Came with some free parts. We got out of the box new brake pads, some rotors, more brake pads, and a MagnaFlow. No, that's a Dynamax. Yeah, we won't need that. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today Charlie's got his $850 dub in the shop that he's working on some Iron Rock goodies that they're going to be developing for it. He went out wheeling for the first time a few weeks ago in Gilbert. Got some new rock rash on it.
Yeah, had a lot of fun. Realized that there's a decent amount of things I can upgrade to this so I can have even more fun out on the rig. Other than that, first things first is just get a winch on there so I can do any kind of recovery if I'm ever by myself.
Not good to wheel by yourself, but definitely want the gear if you need it. So we're going to be doing a winch plate and new winch on the front of this today. Yeah, let's get started. Yours will show up just like so. Pre-boxed and ready to go. Just pulled her off the shelf. It's like Christmas morning. All right, so we'll have hardware, stiffeners. So we got it all unboxed. This is exactly how it'll come out. It'll be fully powder coated, ready to go. So this bottom section here is all one piece of laser cut, grade 50 1/4-inch steel. We've got our 1-inch recovery point / backing plate and all of our bolts and everything for our fair leads ready to go. It will fit very flush on the limited and the overlands. The Laredos, you'll have to do a little bit more trimming, nothing too drastic. So we'll have to do a little bit of trimming here. It's going to tuck very close to the condenser, essentially. And we do have an upgrade for this.
After I thrash this for a little bit, I'm going to end up saving a couple pennies and then going for the entire bumper kit that we also offered.
So, and that full bumper kit works in lieu of the winch plate. This is the bare bones of that, and then that extra bumper is built off of this. So definitely all you got to do is add it on later or leave it how it is with just the hidden winch mount. But let's get started. Let's get this bumper off and we'll start the process of getting this in there.
You know, I actually really enjoy the stock look, especially before the big tires and the lift. So hopefully with this sticking right behind, it'll look nice and clean.
Make sure you get all your bolts out. So we got to replace these two bars for longer ones because we're cutting this section out. So I'm just marking as best I can where the latch is going to sit so we don't have to mess with it too much later to make sure it's going to latch and not rattle. So if anybody wheels in the Midwest, can you take a look at the front end of this, see a certain color, and know where this thing's been wheeling before? Because pretty obvious for us. This one was up in the Iron Range, aka Gilbert. But this really hard to get off. It'll probably be there for the life of the Jeep. So moment of truth. This is the point of no return. We're going to cut our cross member off. We're going to cut flush to the rail here, so straight out on both sides, so that when you're looking in, we got a nice flush entrance into the frame rail. So let's get these cut. Woo, we got close. So this is what you want. I got a little tight up here, so bias it more this way. Once that's out of the way, you can always take your grinder, get it really close. Otherwise, if you get too deep into it, start gouging into the unibody, which we don't want to do. So I'm just going to clean it up, get rid of some of the sharp edges, and then he's going to work on getting the sway bar out from underneath, and then we can start test fitting our plate. While you're at it, just rattle can the whole thing.
That's the only way to fix that Gilbert red.
Now you're just sealing it in. So we're ready to go in with it. Make sure you get your carriage bolts in because there is zero room to put them in once you get this bolted up. Perfect. Just let it rest and we'll get the sway bar up there. So we were just going to get the sway bar up there loosely to kind of get our holes lined up. We're going to leave everything loose until we get all of our bolts in, then we'll start tightening everything up. So we've got our sway bar bolts in on both sides. That's holding up our back. Got our jack up front. Now everything is staying loose. Once everything on the side rails are started, then we'll make sure this is pushed all the way back, tighten those down, and then we'll come back and do our front ones. But these are our nut plates going through the factory holes. It's weird, everything just fits so nice. It's like it's laser cut to fit this Jeep specifically. So we got everything underneath, went in loose, got them all started. Now they're all snugged. This was pushed back as far as we could. Nice and tight up against the condenser here. Now we're going to drill out our holes for our stiffeners or our D-rings. Then we have a sandwich plate for the inside. So drill out these two through the unibody.
Well, hey, I actually just got a deal to go get some wheels and tires for this thing, so I got to skate. Travis is going to end up finishing this up, so then everything is all nice and tidy for me.
It's a good thing my hourly rate's pretty cheap for you.
Thank you, thank you.
Time for lunch. All right, so gold bolts, washer. We've got our new, we're going to call it a squish plate, sandwich plate, plate, washer nut. And we're going to snug them up real good. So now we're going to prep the header panel or the headlight panel. So the 4 3.5 inside stiffeners need to get cut out. So we're going to go flush on the top section on these 4. We're going to leave these outer ones intact and we're going to cut right along the bottom. This is going to get a little bit flimsy. Your headlights will still be mounted in as long as you have good tabs on the top and bottom. So just be careful with it. This one's going to be pretty weak because it's been used and abused, but we're going to make it work. So we're just going to nip all these quick, and then we'll get this back up in there to show you the fitment of that and how it's going to come together where it's, you know, that hidden bumper or the hidden winch mount look. So Charlie chose a Badlands ZXR 12,000 with the metal cable. I think he's planning on switching that out to synthetic later, but this is about the biggest one we've found that will fit in the winch plate. So before you mess with the grill and everything, everything's wide open. Now's the perfect time to get your winch in, route your wiring so that you're not fighting anything later. And then you'll know when you go to put your bumper on if you got to clearance any more of the grill or any part of that headlight header panel. So winch time. So one thing with the, you know, the sleek hidden winch mount is we want as much airflow through our radiator, and we want the utilization of a winch nice and sleek fit. So what we recommend is, and this comes like this, but we're going to actually remote mount this underneath the hood so we can keep as much of this down with less trimming. That's up to you. If you want to mount this up front, you just got to do a little more cutting. Might be a little harder to get airflow through the radiator, but that's up to you. We're going to mount this under the hood. So we attached our battery ground to the bottom because we're not going to be able to get to that. I think I can get to the other three. We've got the slide nuts in there, so try and keep it level. Perfect. So we attached our ground on the bottom because you can't get to it when the winch is sitting in here. We got excited. We threw our winch in to make sure it was going to fit really good, and then we got excited again and bolted it in just to realize we can't get to our bolts for our fair lead. So out she came. We put our bolts for our fair lead pointing this way just for clearance reasons, and there it's a decent look, so no big concern there. And now we're going to go and we're actually mount this underneath. It is a tight fit. I mean, this is a good size winch for this size rig. So yeah, get this winch bolted in, and then we're going to start cutting on young Charles's good looking bumper. We kind of messed up his header panel, so we'll figure that out. But yeah, we'll get this bolted in. We'll start cutting up the bumper. So we're getting ready to start cutting up our bumper. You can get as close or as open as you want with this. We're going to keep it as close as we can. So we're going to start with cutting the tops of all of these all the way across to clear the fair lead and the D-ring hooks. So yeah, we're going to start with cutting our tops. We're going to get these out of our way, set it up there so we can kind of take an eyeball at it and see. We're going to inch towards as close as possible. So we've been cutting and creeping up on the fair lead. I think we got maybe one more cut here to get that nice and tight on the top portion of the fair lead. And we were able to get close enough where we can get a mark out for our D-rings. I'm going to creep up on that as well. I know our sides are a good measurement. I don't know how high we have to go, so we'll creep up on that one as well. So getting close. We got all of our bumper trimmed up as much as Charlie wants. He doesn't want to cut out the free spool portion. He likes the look better, so he's just going to power in and out. See how he likes when he's got to climb up the trail and power out as he's climbing up, 80 feet of hill, but he'll figure that out on his own. So we got our D-rings cut out. We had to inch up to these along with our fair lead cut. We ended up cutting about from this edge here, 3 inches down and about 4 inches down to the D-ring. And we did have to do a little bit of rounding out here for the corner. These we kind of just cut them flat. So if you want to get those super tight, it's up to you. But for now, this is how he wants it. This will get swapped out for just the synthetic rope fair lead. So that's why we have this tucked right now. We didn't want to cut out too much, and then it'll be wide open when he goes to a fair lead later. So I suggest figuring out what you want for your cable, getting the fair lead or the roller that you want, and then cutting your bumper to fit that. But this install is done. He's got some new wheels he's going to throw on here. I think we got a couple other goodies planned for this thing, so stay tuned. We don't know if we're going to go full build series on this just yet, but it may happen. We'll see what Charlie wants to do. So if you guys have any questions, shoot us a call, shoot us a comment. Let us know what you want to see on the next part of the WJ not build. But yeah, keep the comments coming. We'll keep the videos coming. So like and subscribe. Make sure you know that next video is popping out. And thanks for hanging out.